Hi folks, I'm standing at the moment at a checkpoint which will be used for Bronse Duke of Edinburgh expeditioners over the next couple of weeks. I'm intending this morning to make a brief video which will be available for parents with a mind to providing you with all the information you'll need to reassure you that we're taking good care of our SD pupils on the 4 days of activities which we've got planned during the month of May. Where I am right now is at a checkpoint at Bronse car park, and behind me is the path, or one of the paths, that pupils will either be coming down or going up depending on what direction they're travelling in. And what I intend to do during the course of the rest of this morning while I recce the final part of the expedition trail is I'll stop at various points and I'll provide you with a bit of information about the sorts of activities that will be happening over our 4 working days in May, as well as information to hopefully reassure you about plans and arrangements that are in place for our expedition. I'll shut up now and get back on my bike and I'll call you again in a minute. Okay, here we are again. I'm on the Great Trossachs Path, which is the route that pupils will be taking on their expedition day when they're travelling north of Loch Venacher. What you can see behind me there is Loch Venacher, and you can maybe make out the Loch Venacher Sailing Club and the Ripple Retreat on the far side. And what I wanted to mention to you here were the expectations that we have for the training days. On Tuesday the 10th and Wednesday the 11th of May, pupils who are part of our Bronze expedition group should arrive at school in expedition kit. That includes their proper walking boots. We don't expect pupils to arrive in trainers. This is an opportunity for them to spend a couple of days making sure that their footwear is not going to cause them a problem on their expedition. So it's really important that we're properly dressed and prepared for those days. What we'll do on the Tuesday are a variety of classroom based activities where we'll teach pupils things like setting up tents, using the cooking equipment which we'll be providing for them, thinking about the sorts of things that we should pack in a rucksack and how we should pack that. We'll be talking about basic safety, so including a little bit of training on first aid procedures, and we'll also be dealing with navigation. So navigation skills, navigation training will include some map reading and will include preparing a route card with the sort of information that will be helpful for independent expeditioners to be able to be sure and confident of where they are at any given time. When they're out on expedition, then obviously that's something that the people who will be supervising will be asking them to be able to demonstrate at the various checkpoints at which we will arrange to meet them. So that's basically Tuesday. We'll spend, as I've said, a considerable amount of time in the classroom in expedition kit. There'll also be a little bit of time spent outside, for example erecting tents and playing about with cooking equipment. On the Wednesday the 11th of May, we'll be taking pupils on a coach across to the Loch Ard forest. And in the Loch Ard forest there are a number of trails which I've used several times in the past to do some practical navigation work. So the pupils will be in their walking groups. They will have produced route cards for a practical exercise which will involve them walking through the woods to a designated point where we'll meet and have lunch, then walking back out through the woods all the way back out to Aberfoyle, where the coach will meet them and bring them home. We will also have the school minibus with us just in case there are any stragglers that need to be waited upon, so that nobody misses their buses on the way home. Those are basically the details of what's going to be happening on the training days, and I'm hoping that everybody's looking forward to that. I'm now going to jump back onto my old red bike and head along to another checkpoint where I'll try to give you some more details about the actual expedition. Okay, I'm now getting suitably sweaty. I've done a fair old trek this morning, and the great joys of Duke of Edinburgh is that this year's Duke of Edinburgh has just shown me something I've never seen before. I have never, in 50 odd years of living in and around Callander, been up to see the Glenfinglas Dam. This is part of our expedition route. And I just wanted to share with you the arrangements that would be in place for the 2 days, the Tuesday, Wednesday, 17th and 18th of May. We will have I'm in the absolute back of beyond and a car has just gone by me. I am standing on a little bit of road. So, the Bronse expedition, Tuesday the 17th, Wednesday the 18th of May. We will have 3 groups starting from school on the Tuesday and 3 groups finishing at school on the Wednesday. And they will follow a route in one of 2 directions, which basically takes them round Loch Venacher. This route has been scouted by myself and by other members of staff. We've been out, we've looked everywhere, we've been on all the paths, and we've ensured that the paths are clear and the paths are suitable for expedition walkers. The navigation is not particularly tricky, but there's about 5.5 to 6 hours of walking involved in each day, which basically fulfills the requirements for a Bronse expedition. Basically, the route from the school takes the pupils through Coilhallen Woods, briefly on the Invertrossachs Road before going up the forest paths up into the hills above the south side of Loch Venacher. They'll come back down onto the loch side past Invertrossachs and follow the path that leads up there to the south side of Loch Achray. There will be a little bit of path work in the Three Lochs Drive, which is part of the Queen Elizabeth Forest Park, and eventually the pupils will arrive at one of 2 campsites on the shores of Loch Achray. From there, the following morning, they will then proceed through a path just by Brigaturk, up the glen here, up to Glenfinglas, and from there they'll follow the Great Trossachs path, which will take them all the way back to Bocastle, where I did the first of these little video clips, and from there they'll head north, up the path onto the lowest shoulder of Ben Ledi before dropping back down to the Stank, which is their finishing point. So groups heading from school will do that route, groups heading from the Stank will start and do that in reverse over the 2 days. We have 2 assessors with us from Active Stirling, who will be deciding whether or not the pupils are fulfilling the requirements of the Duke of Edinburgh expedition, which the route is designed to enable them to do. In addition to that, we will have 2 shifts of school staff. 3 of us will probably be with the pupils both days, and there are other groups who will be allocated to do either the Tuesday or the Wednesday. When I say with the pupils, in order for it to be a qualifying expedition, pupils have to travel independently, but what we will be doing is enabling the pupils, or telling the pupils in advance where the checkpoints are going to be, and we will dot around, probably on creatures like my bearded bike, to get between them. We will also have access to the school minibus, which has been reserved for us for the days, which will be used in case of emergency for transporting anybody out. The route has been designed to be as accessible as it can possibly be, but still present them with the Duke of Edinburgh's objective of a wild challenge, or an independent challenge. I firmly believe that we have considered the health and safety of the pupils and of the staff who have taken part. We've looked at all of the evacuation procedures and any issues which might arise. We anticipate that we have provision in place to take good care of your youngsters, our pupils, and my colleagues. So, I think that's probably around about the tall and the short of all the information that I think you should have, you should need. If I've missed anything out, if there are any questions that you've got, then please feel free to email me. Parents should have received 3 or 4 weeks ago the kit list, and I'm hoping that having not heard anything back, everybody is quite happy with getting all of the stuff that we're asking you to supply gathered. Please bear in mind that if a rucksack is an issue, we have a stock of rucksacks in school, we have a stock of roll mats in school, and we will be providing the tents and the cooking equipment. We'll be giving the pupils instruction on catering suggestions, the sorts of things that they should be bringing to eat on their expedition during the training days on the Tuesday, Wednesday, 10th and 11th. So I'm hoping, having spent several hours filling in exciting pieces of paper, that lots and lots of the correct planning has been done. And as I say, if anything that you would like to know hasn't been covered in either the documentation or this little bit of wild country footage, then please by all means get in touch with me, email me, you can call school. We will be using mobile phones when out on expedition. Pupils will be provided with staff phone numbers, staff mobile numbers. Reception is not always magnificent, although I have checked today, everywhere that I've stopped I've had a phone signal. So the anticipation is that the phone will be a principal emergency tool. I should say that pupils should not be using their phones for anything other than emergency purposes. They will have all the navigation gear that they will require. And part and parcel of the whole Duke of Edinburgh experience is that these people are working independently, they're working in the wild. You wouldn't be expecting that pupils should be contacting home during the outing. If there is any information that parents need to have, they will get that information directly from myself or from Mr. Fleming. So I wouldn't be anticipating pupils using their phones for anything other than recording photographs, recording videos. By all means, there's some lovely stuff out here, but I wouldn't expect them to be phoning home or phoning anybody else for that matter while they're out on expedition. I think that just about sums it up. I hope that you found my little video bits and pieces informative. I hope that I've given you the information that will set your minds at rest, that we are planning to have an entertaining, safe and interesting time with the youngsters on the Bronse Duke of Edinburgh experience. All the best.